Now we're going to be factoring polynomials and particularly trinomials that represent this form, x squared plus bx plus c. X squared plus bx plus c. Now, it doesn't have to be x, it could be any variable, and b and c represent constants and coefficients. But notice that this opening term, the variable squared, does not have a coefficient. We're going to get to the fact, we'll get to when this first term does have a coefficient, but for now it has a coefficient of 1. So we just have x squared plus bx plus c. So we can say that x squared plus bx plus c equals x plus m times x plus p when m plus p equals b. So the sum of these two factors is equal to the middle term, and m times p equals c, this last term. So it multiplies to the last term and adds to the middle term. And we have a couple different scenarios in which we're going to look at. We're going to look at when both b and c are positive. If we have pluses in here like there, then both factors are positive. When b and c are both positive, we know then that both factors are positive. So, using this idea of finding two factors that add to b and multiply to c, let's look at x squared plus 7x plus 12. So we want factors that multiply to 12 and add to 7. So now we think, what multiplies to 12 and add to 7? We can try, does 1 times 12? That equals 12, but it equals 13, so that's not going to be what we're looking for. Maybe 2 and 6, but that adds to 8, and that's not 7. What about 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 plus 4 is 7. Yay! So this trinomial is going to factor to x plus 3 times x plus 4. When in doubt, quick FOIL it out. We get x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12, also known as x squared plus 7x plus 12. So we found what multiplies to 12, adds to 7, those become the two factors in our factoring. So in the event that we have a negative b and a positive c, think about this. If we have two numbers that multiply to a positive number and add to a negative number, that means that both factors are negative. So here we need to think what multiplies to 27 and adds to negative 12. Well, let's see, factors of negative 27. We have negative 1 and negative 27, but that adds to negative 28, so it's not that. We have negative 3 and negative 9, and oh, would you look at that? Negative 12. So when we factor this, we're going to have x minus 3 times x minus 9. And there are two factors that when we multiply them, they multiply to positive 27 because a negative times a negative equals a positive. And they add to negative 12. Negative 3 plus negative 9 equals negative 12. And again, if you want, you could FOIL it out, but I hope you will soon learn to trust yourself. Now, in the event that c is negative, if numbers multiply to a negative number, that means one factor is positive and one factor is negative. So one factor is going to be positive, one's going to be negative. We have a squared plus 3a minus 18. So we need to multiply to negative 18 and add to a positive 3. So we need to multiply to negative 18 and add to 3. So let's see, we could have negative 2 times 9, and that adds to 7, not quite. We could have negative 3 times 6. Does that? Oh, that does to 3. Now here's a pro tip. If you tried 3 times negative 6 first and got negative 3, you're close, you're on the right track. We just need to change our signs. So now we have factored a minus 3 times the group a plus 6. And I really hope you're listening along because a lot of this that I'm speaking is really going to help. So those of our friends that don't like to listen along and just like to watch the videos, they're missing out. Now if we look at this example, g squared minus g minus 20, we look what multiplies to negative 20 and adds to, what is this, minus g. Oh wait, that adds to negative 1. So we need to multiply to negative 20 and add to negative 1. So let's see, we could have negative 2 and 10, which is negative 20, but that's only 8. No. We could have negative 4 and 5, and that adds to 1. Ooh, we're close. So let's try 4 and negative 5, and that gets us the negative 1 we're looking for. So here we'd have the group g plus 4 times the group g minus 5. And when we FOIL it out, we would get g squared minus g minus 20. Now, do you have to go out and show all of these steps right here? No, you don't have to purposefully pick wrong factors that don't add to negative 1. I chose some factors that I knew didn't add to negative 1 to show the thought process that I was going through, to show that, we need to find two things that multiply to C that add to B. That multiply to C, add to B. That's what I wanted to go through, so that's what I wrote out. But no, you don't have to. I would like to see a little chart that maybe shows multiplies to negative 20, adds to negative 1, where you kind of try out your what's adding to. Kind of just puts your thinking on paper. For our practice, we have page 1185, numbers 1 through 4, and then 12 through 19. 1 through 4 and 12 through 19. Number 1, we're asked to factor x squared plus 14x plus 24. 14x plus 24 plus x squared. So we think, we remember we need to multiply to C and add to 14. So it needs to have a product of 24. So you could write P24 and a sum of 14. Let's see, with 24 we can get 6 times 4, but that's just 10. Or maybe 2 times 12, and oh, that looks like 14. So maybe x plus 2, x plus 12. Alright, so remember, we're looking for what multiplies to this second number and what multiplies to C, what adds to B, and we write that, like x plus 2 times the group, x plus 12. Don't just find these, that's not the complete answer, alright? We need to show what multiplies here, what multiplies to 24, and adds to 14. Have fun!